All right, everybody, welcome to the halftime hash here against Kansas City. It looks like with 11 seconds, they're still trying to drive down the field. They got a lot of space to go, but 2 timeouts. We're going to finish watching this. Make sure you guys are posting your reactions from the first half. What a crazy, interesting first half we've had here. Man, if this is the Broncos that we were come to expect all season, it'd be one thing, but it's just not. Like, for some reason, just the inconsistencies, everything's coming down this game. While I'd love to walk away playing spoiler to Kansas City and their chance to be the first overall first overall seed in the AFC, and get our first win since 2015, that'd be nice. I just don't know which Broncos are going to show up in the second half. So post your comments, what you saw in the first half, how you're feeling as we finish watching the end of this game. Some of you guys may be ahead of me because I'm streaming it. So you guys might be ahead of me. This game might already be over, but let's see. 987 looks like he's going for it all, and way over the head. 5 seconds left. One last play. If you guys are ahead of me, this game gone into halftime, you just let me know. Appreciate it. For some reason, I know some of you guys don't show up. I appreciate it. I am starting to feel a little bit better. I'm back in my closet as opposed to my room, which is nice. So for those of you guys been tracking the last couple of weeks, it is nice to be out of the room. All right, let's see. 5 seconds left. Looks like they're huddling up. We got prevent defense out there, I hope. Let's see. Yeah, something tells me we're going into half 10-14. Up at half against Kansas City. What is happening right now? We call timeout? All right. So yeah, there's a lot going on this first half. I'll give you guys some quick my quick updates here. Oh, thanks, Rob. Quick updates here that I'm thinking about. First of all, what a crazy first half. I mean, Drew Lock didn't have more passing yards than Courtland Sutton until like a little bit into the second half before he ran it, or the second quarter when he ran it in. He got Timmy P on the outside. He's not throwing very well. He's not seeing the field very well. He's overthrowing. He's missing some spots. There's a couple that have been just out of bounds when he had a wide open receiver. And even on the big scamper that he had, it did look like he had a couple guys open there. Okay, let's see what happens. Get him, please. And he's down. Okay, into half, 14-10. All right, sounds good. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to talk to you guys. I'm super excited, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the Halftime Hash here at Orange Weekly, as always, sponsored by TPPN and the DraftKings Sportsbook. This is the last week, and what an interesting first half. I'm going to get to some of your guys' questions. We definitely have some questions about Vic Fangio. We have some questions about, the offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur, and other people that are probably going to be gone after this game. But you could tell some of these offensive play calls are I mean, like Courtland Sutton throwing, that was pretty interesting. I like how he found Noah Fant wide open in the middle field, and for some reason, none of our other quarterbacks can ever do that. So I thought that was kind of fun. Tim Tebow reincarnated. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, this is the first time he's rushed for 2 touchdowns in a game. I think he has the last time we played Kansas City when he was the starter. He also had a rushing touchdown. He's running the ball pretty well, and overall, in general, I think all of our running backs are doing very, very well on offense. I would love to see Melvin Gordon in the orange and blue once again next year. I'd like to see that get done because I like that tandem in the backfield, and that may be one of the very few positions that we don't have issues at. And I think that's a nice piece to have and not have to worry about. So I hope something happens with Melvin Gordon. He's playing pretty well, and obviously so is Javonte Williams. So let's spoil it, Rob. Let's spoil it for KC. Love it. Love the enthusiasm. And real slick field today. That's the other thing. I mean, you saw it on the opening kickoff. He slipped before the opening kickoff. There's been a lot of people slipping, trying to get into their cuts, trying to get to and from different places. Very slippery field. I'm not in Colorado, so I don't know. Maybe it rained yesterday. Maybe it's just really foggy. Something that I don't know. All right, let's see. Sutton catches that, and we get at least a field goal. Let's spoil. Yep, that Sutton drop was pretty rough. I don't think he was expecting to get it. I was kind of yelling at the TV because, again, the offense in me, the quarterback, offensive coordinator in me, you see a rush coming from your 3 receiver side, and it's basically 3-on-1 out there, and the safety's deep. You got to hit the quick shot there. But he didn't. He went with the 1-on-1 on the other side, which also was a good read because the matchup was there. Sutton's got to catch that ball, but it's not a game changer. I think that's the big part of that. Just Sutton can still come back and have a big piece. Let's see. Even with all of our starters out on defense, they're playing good. I agree. I think the interior defensive line, there's been a couple interesting calls, a couple referee calls on Draymond Jones that it was interesting. The hands to the face, Bradley Chubb with the slap of Patrick Mahomes, I thought was a little funny, and the fact that he got that call was a little weird for me, but yeah, and then the defense in general just playing pretty well, getting pressure on Pat Mahomes, which is nice. And the DBs, even Ojemudia, he's having a little bit of a rough day. I'm glad to see him back, honestly, because I liked him last year. He's having a little bit of a rough day, but still keeping people covered. And I think the defensive play calls are doing really, really good against this Kansas City offense. Let's see. Looks like I may have lost some of you guys. I just got a notification I may have lost. If you're still there, give me a holler. Let me know that you're still there. All right. Sad to see Denver keeping Vic and finding a new OC. That's interesting. Yeah. So I could see it. I could see Denver keeping Vic Fangio, and it really comes down to the conversation between what's happening with Vic Fangio and George Payton, and that's really what it's going to come down to. If that's happening, then we keep him. If not, let's see. All right, looks like I may have lost some of you guys. I'm sorry. All right, thanks for the YouTube guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Looks like I'm only on YouTube and Twitter. Head over to YouTube and Twitter, and we'll post that on. For some reason, it's StreamYard's having a tough time hitting up Facebook. Thanks, Thomas. I'm going to keep going for you guys, though. Make sure you guys post your comments so I know what's going on. But to answer the question about Vic and the new OC, I was actually going to put an over and under on the pregame, but I couldn't do that. On the pregame, I'd like to see over under tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at noon, whether or not we have all of our coaches still. I think that's my big piece. Do we have all of our coaches tomorrow at noon, or are we going to get rid of them right after this game? Are they going to be done tonight? Are they going to be done tomorrow? Or what the plan is? So, yeah, we'll have to see how that works. Let me know how you guys feel about that, and we'll go from there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, sorry about this halftime. It looks like StreamYard's having a little bit of a tough time getting Facebook. It looks like we might be back on some of the Facebook. Interesting thought process here. Yeah, so we're back up 14-10. Let me know how you feel. Drew Lock with the runs, and I think, like I said, on the second big scamper, he had a couple wide receivers open. He didn't take them, but he did have the wide open field in the middle. That was super interesting. And that's super something that we need to keep. We have to keep an eye on with the run game. If we can get the clear out from the linebackers, then we just keep running the ball. Maybe throw a couple, throw running backs into the flats, throw over the middle, on some arrow in the or some seams in the middle. That'd be nice. Thomas, yeah, Pat's got to go. I would not be surprised to hear the Pat Shurmur and the McMahon firing after this game. I would not be surprised at all if after this game we saw Pat Shurmur and McMahon go. I don't know what's going to happen with Vic Fangio, and if he does get fired, it might be on Monday just to kind of give him a chance to relax over the weekend. The thing is, this is a home game, so that's another big piece of this. It's not like you have to wait for them to get back home to be able to tell them the bad news. This is a home game. This might be after the game. You know, they still have a lot of time this evening to go into the office and figure out what's going to go. Let's see. Jijin, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. It's safe to say that Sutton has dropped too many balls that hit him right in the hands this year. Yeah, there's been a couple. He's been the dropped one this year. He's dropped a few balls that have hit him in the hands. Now, again, they're professionals, and we expect them to catch the ball every time it hits their hands. That one on that last drive was a little bit rough. And there's been a couple times where other receivers haven't caught the ball when it's thrown directly at them, and that's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know why that is. With the injury and everything, if just lack of focus or lack of motivation. I don't know why he has dropped those. Hopefully he fixes that. And I think Jerry Jeudy's still being very underutilized. I think that was something that someone mentioned earlier. Jerry Jeudy has been underutilized, all season, I think, and that's super unfortunate because I think he's someone that we could really start targeting to. Keep Vic as the defensive coordinator. I do like that. I don't see it happening. If Vic stays, he'll stay as the head coach. And I think someone said it earlier. Find a new offensive coordinator. Find a new special teams coordinator. Vic will stay as the head coach if he stays. If he goes and as a defensive coordinator somewhere else, he's going to go be a defense coordinator somewhere else. I don't think he's going to do it here in Denver, which is unfortunate. And I hope that we keep around some of these defensive staff guys that he's brought along to keep the same system, because the system's working. Look how many guys we have injured right now, and that for some reason just is not working out. We're playing pretty well, pretty good defense right now. With all the defensive injuries that we have, I think the defense system is right. I just don't think that that as a head coach, Vic Fangio is really upholding his end of the deal for a lot of this. Let's see. I'm got the game up, so once it starts coming back up, you guys let me know as the game starts coming back on from halftime. So, yeah, I just don't see us getting rid of him. Again, I don't know when it's going to happen. I think that's my big question. This is an off-season game. And look, I would love to go into the second half, start talking about like going into the second half. Love to go into the second half up. I would love, we're not getting the ball, so we're giving them the ball. The one thing that's worrying me is that they're sustaining very, very good long drives. That first drive for their touchdown was a very good long drive. Even the one that they end up settling for the field goal was a good drive. And without the sack from Shelby Harris, that big sack, that drive was going really well too. So we need to get another couple of those big plays, like the big sacks. There's been a couple dropped interceptions. There's been a couple times where I was expecting an interception on a couple plays, and it just didn't happen. So, yeah, interested to see what happens in the second half. I think the biggest piece for me going forward is stopping the sustainable drives, holding them to field goals, and getting another score. We need to start getting the ball over the air. They're going to start loading the box. They're going to put a spy on Locke, because I think Locke is in the mindset now that he can run for anything. And in the first half he has. But unfortunately, we're playing against a guy like Andy Reid, who's very, very good at halftime adjustments. And we're not usually. So we'll see what this turns into as it goes in. But yeah, we need to run more play action. I would love it. Our run is doing very well. We need to run some of those run play actions. The one-on-ones on the outside are there. Obviously, with a couple dropped balls, there's nothing we can do about it. But any Jerry Jeudy on anybody in the slot. And as you're seeing on the outsides, we're getting the one-on-one matchups we want. You run that play action, and I think it's wide open all season, all afternoon, if we can get that in there. Now, I don't know how that's going to go, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Thomas, thank you so much. I mentioned that. I love Michael Ojemudia. And I think he is playing very well, and I like to see him back. I'm super happy that he's back right now because he is playing very well, and it's super nice to see. I liked him last year when we were in that situation where we had no corners all at the well, I forget which game it was, but I think he was like the only corner left in the fourth quarter. And we were playing safeties and linebackers on the outside. Yeah, but I like to see him. I like to see him back. I'm glad that he made the back from the injury, and then he was kind of on and off. Not practice squad, but he was definitely on the healthy scratch a couple times. Locks looks like he's playing himself into a job somewhere else next season. At least that's his back. I agree. I absolutely agree. He's playing to not turn the ball over because that was the biggest thing that the media and all of us were talking about, right? He's super just not good with the ball. He's not turning the ball over, and he's not making really big plays. He's not trying to push the ball downfield at all, but he's making the runs, he's making the reads that he needs to, and I think you're right. I think he's playing himself into a job somewhere, and I think that's what he's been doing the last 3 games, is really trying to show that he's a quarterback in this field, or in this, it's like the field having a 12th Bronco on defense. The field is like having 12th Bronco on defense. I see that. Going back to Locke, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Going back to Locke, yeah, it's interesting because I think he might be with us next year, depending on what goes on in the offseason. And we're going to have an offseason show. Follow us on Tuesday night. We'll be posted Bourbon Broncos OBS. I have this whole thing lined up about ifs, ands, or buts once we find out who is fired and who isn't on what we're going to do in the offseason. So make sure you guys are watching that Tuesday show, and I'll tell you whether or not I think Locke is going to be on our team next year. But I think a couple dominoes need to fall first before I make a definitive statement. Yeah, and the slick field is absolutely crazy rough. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Again, I'm not in Denver, so I don't know what the weather's like right now in Denver, but it looks like it's been raining for a little bit, or that like morning dew kind of stuff where it's like the ice still on the ice still on the grass when you wake up in the morning and on that morning dew. So yeah, no, I think it's great. I love watching this game. I'm so happy that we're up. at half against Kansas City, but be intrigued to see what this coaching staff and these Broncos can do. The Broncos aren't giving up, which I kind of like too. The players, you could tell, are just doing what they can do to try to win another game. They talk about it every single week. We got to look at the next game. We don't have to worry about the last game. We have to worry about the next game, and knowing that they're out of the playoffs, knowing that after this, the whole system is about to get shook up, knowing that that's on the horizon after today. The players are still balling out, and I love that. And I think that the offensive line is still balling out really well. The running backs are doing a very good job. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I love seeing the running backs, both the running backs, playing their heart out, because I want to see them both back next year. Obviously, we have Javonte Williams, but I think that we need to have, Melvin Gordon back next year. And I think he's playing to show us that. As we're getting ready to come back, guys, sorry it's been so weird. I know you guys on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for following us. Make sure you guys are liking us and subscribing and telling your friends. It seems like, the second half is when Denver plays worst ball, 100%. We don't know how to halftime adjust. Sometimes I think it was a really long time where we didn't score on the first drive for the longest time, and we went 3 and out when we had the ball in great field position at the beginning of this game. So we'll see what happens in the halftime, and if we adjust at the halftime like we need to. I know that Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to, because that's when they played their best football. So, full disclosure, we got Chiefs fan. Thank you so much, KJB. Like to see the AFC West go back terrifying the rest of it. I agree 100%. And I think that this year was pretty close for the most part, but I think there was a lot of times, all of us were super, super inconsistent. Good luck through the rest of the season. Good luck in the playoffs to the Chiefs. But we got a second half to play. I hope we spoil you guys. I hope we get this win and we break that this just like the coaching carousel thing. I'm so tired of hearing that we haven't beaten the Kansas City Chiefs since 2015. It's kickoff. Thank you guys so much for staying with me. Have a great one, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday at the Tuesday Bourbon Broncos No BS show. As always, go Broncos.